What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So a lot of you have heard about the whole dynamic duo situation that everyone's talking about around the NBA, and I thought it'd be a good idea to put all the duos of every team into a tier list. The basis of this list is mainly going to be ranking them based on how the duos would work together if they don't play together already, and how young the players are, how experienced all the players are as well. So without further ado, I'm going to hop right in. First of all, I'm not including Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, John Wall, or any other players who are facing significant injuries because they're probably not going to play most of the regular season, so there's kind of no point putting them in here for right now. This list is right now exclusively for the regular season, for the 2019-20 season, so unfortunately I'm going to leave those players out for right now. In Tier 5, I have a lot of rookies, up-and-coming teams, or just young players in general. I have, for the Pelicans, Drew Holiday and Zion Williamson. You could also put Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram. Terry Rozier and Malik Monk for the Charlotte Hornets. RJ Barrett and Julius Randle for the New York Knicks. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Bradley Beal and Rui Hachimura for the Washington Wizards. Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. for the Memphis Grizzlies. And Colin Sexton and Darius Garland for the Cleveland Cavaliers. All of these duos are unproven or have little to no playing time with each other, so it's really hard to rank these duos up there with the other teams, but for right now, these are probably going to be the bottom tier teams in the NBA, so it kind of makes sense that most of these duos are in the bottom tier of this tier list. I think all these duos have a good chance of being really good in the future, but for right now, I just can't put them ahead of any of the clear-cut best duos in the NBA for right now. So for these reasons, this is Tier 5 for me. For Tier 4, I have a lot of up-and-coming duos or duos that have only played a little bit together. Some of these duos have played for a while, but for the most part, most of them have been just growing together for right now. So I place them in Tier 4 mainly because they have a bright future and they'll be in the top tiers later on, but in this present moment, they're only in Tier 4 because they don't have that much history together or that much experience individually. For Tier 4, I have Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton for the Phoenix Suns, Nikola Vucevic and Aaron Gordon for the Orlando Magic, De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield for the Sacramento Kings, Trae Young and John Collins for the Atlanta Hawks, Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Zach LaVine and Lauri Markkanen for the Chicago Bulls, and Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic for the Miami Heat. I mainly put these teams in here, like I said before, because a lot of them just have a little bit of history, but not enough to say they're all-star caliber duos, like consensus all-stars each year in, year out. So for those reasons, I kind of just had to say all those duos are really good, but for right now, they're not the best duos in the NBA. For Tier 3, I have all-star caliber duos. These are duos that have all-star caliber play styles and all-star caliber potential, but most of them just aren't up there with the elite duos in the NBA right now. So these are the really solid duos who will definitely make runs in the playoffs and have a lot of success in the playoffs going forward, but they're not duos on contenders right now, or some of them are contenders, but not up there with the teams that are really contending. These are mainly playoff locks. The real contenders are in the higher tiers. So for right now, the duos I have in Tier 3 are Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic for the Dallas Mavericks, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray for the Denver Nuggets, Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum for the Boston Celtics, Kyle Lowry and Pascal Siakam for the Toronto Raptors, Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Jordan for the Brooklyn Nets, Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond for the Detroit Pistons, DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge for the San Antonio Spurs, Malcolm Brogdon and Victor Oladipo for the Indiana Pacers, and Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley for the Utah Jazz. Most of these duos have one or even two clear-cut All-NBA players, so for that reason, I think they are in a tier above the Tier 4 guys, but some of these guys are kind of unproven, like Porzingis and Luka haven't played together at all, nor Kemba and Tatum and so on, but I think when you have one guy who's definitely all NBA caliber in the duo, I think it just raises you above a tier and for that reason I put all these duos in tier 3. But I think for tier 2 there's a little difference with the caliber of player, and I think it's apparent when I explain it. For tier 2, I have duos that have a clear-cut MVP on their team, or MVP caliber player, or a high-class all-star on their team as well. So like a tier above the regular all-stars like Clay, Draymond, and them. Like we're talking like the Paul Georges of the world, those type of players. So for tier 2, I have D'Angelo Russell and Steph Curry, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. That's my tier 2. I think this is a good place to place all these duos because, like I said before, they have a clear-cut MVP caliber player or high-class All-NBA player on their team, but they aren't exactly those 2 MVP level players in one duo like the really high-tier players. So for that reason, I think they're just a little notch below the regular duos in the NBA. I think there'd be a difference if maybe, I'm not even sure if Klay Thompson and Steph Curry would be in the first tier, but I think tier 2 is a good place to place all of them. They're on playoff locks for the most part, and I think all these teams have a good chance of making the finals. So I think that's why they're in tier 2. They're finals contenders, or at least like long playoff stretch contenders who can make deep runs in the playoffs year in and year out. So for that reason, these duos are in tier 2. Tier 1 now, I have the best of the best 2 MVP caliber players on the same team in tier 1. Obviously we have LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the Los Angeles Lakers, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard for the Los Angeles Clippers, and then James Harden and Russell Westbrook for the Houston Rockets. All these duos have guys who finished in probably the top 5 in MVP voting at one point. We have a few guys who've won it, like Harden, Westbrook, and LeBron. Kawhi's been top 3 a couple times. Paul George was top 3 recently. Anthony Davis has been up there as well. I think these duos are just above the rest in terms of their talent, their skill, and what they've accomplished individually. And some of them have accomplished, none of them have accomplished anything as a duo, but I'm sure when the time arrives, they'll definitely make noise as a duo in this league. I guess Harden and Westbrook have played together, but they weren't even close to what they are now. So I think these duos are definitely the cream of the crop, and I think we're going to see the best duos in the league at the top, with the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Rockets definitely having the best duos in the league. Rounding out this tier list, it's clear to see that the top tiers are mainly the 2 MVPs, and then we have just, it keeps going down in terms of talent and history and individual accolades and so on. So I think this list makes the most sense in my position. I don't know what you guys think, but for me, this is how I'd break down all the tiers of duos in the NBA. What are your thoughts about this? I'm eager to see how this all unfolds because I have no idea how this is going to look next season. The NBA is wide open for the first time in quite some time, and it should be a lot of fun. I think fans of every team feels like, well, maybe not every team, but most teams feel like they have a chance to win the title this year. And I guess that makes the NBA more exciting, having that hope that, hey, my team can win the championship. There's no Warriors in the way, or there's no LeBron in the way this time. So that's all for this one. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Just in case the party gets rowdy, I brought my crew. I don't mind if y'all wanna fight me, just don't shoot. I see you got on all this